Welcome to the Fiscal Finesse Flash, where we will share insights into personal and business finance for today's economical climate and finesse your finances. And now your host, Jenna Finesse Houston.
Hello. So, I was trying to try this new platform, but apparently it's not working well for me. So, I'm going to use the same old Facebook Live and talk to you all about the Fiscal Finesse Flash for tonight. My lipstick is gone, but that's okay. That just means I've been working hard since early this morning and I have no more lipstick. So, there we go. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want y'all seeing all my goodies. So anyways, I forgot I had this on. What's my name? Don't wear it out. I had an event earlier today. But anyway, so let me tell y'all. So tonight I want to talk about financial infidelity. A lot of us don't even know what that is. But when you think about infidelity, you think about cheating, right? You think about sexual infidelity. But in all actuality, financial infidelity is worse than sexual infidelity. Sexual infidelity, you know, sometimes we can get over that. Okay. So anyways, sexual infidelity it can be rough. It can tear down a relationship. It can tear down a marriage. It can tear down your trust. It can tear down so many things, especially when it comes to emotionally and mentally. But financial infidelity can do the same thing. It's actually considered to be worse because when you are... Oh my goodness, I'm just having a hard time tonight, I tell you. But when you are hiding money, right, separating assets, creating hidden nest eggs. I remember when I was younger, my mom used to tell me, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, right? I know some of y'all probably heard the same thing. And so it's like you always got to have something on the back burner just in case. And when you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage, you really shouldn't have that just in case. If you do have the just in case, your partner should know about it. And so that's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about financial infidelity, having separate accounts, having different pay that's coming in that your spouse has no idea about, you know, doing things separately, which really hinders your progress and it actually curses your finances. And some of you may not believe that, but this is what I believe. So, and this is actually my show. So if it's my show and what I believe, I'm going to tell you what I believe. So what I believe is that when you have financial infidelity going on and you have all these separate accounts and all these separate motives and all this separatism, is that a word? Yeah, that's a word. Separatism going on. You really can't prosper. You really have to do things decent and in order. I believe in the word. And the word tells us in 1 Corinthians 14:40 that we have to do things decent and in order. And God was our true example. Jesus was the true example of doing things decent and in order. Even when he gave the folks the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread. He fed over 4,000 people, or 4,000 men, so that wasn't even including the women and the children. But bottom line, he did things decent and in order. He always did. But in that particular example, he did things. He said, okay, first of all, let's organize these people. Let's separate them, put them in a place where they can receive. Then he broke the bread and gave it. So in order for him to do anything that he did, he always had a plan. He was always counting up the costs. He did things decent in order. And in order for us to be prosperous in our finances, we also have to do things decent in order. So I want to give you 4 things for you to do going into the new year and hopefully even before the new year comes to get your stuff, get your life, get your finances in order. So the first thing is to create a system. You have to have some type of system, some type of way that you're going to do things as far as paying your bills. And what I recommend is like a bucket system. You know how back in the day, old folks had the envelopes or they had the bags. Like this right here is going to go to this bill and this right here is going to go to the church and this right here is going to pay for groceries and this right here is going to do whatever. And the bucket system still works. But we're not actually using buckets or envelopes. We're just actually using different accounts, right? So I have accounts with probably I don't know how many financial. I got 2 credit unions, 2 banks. So I have accounts with 4 financial institutions. I have one account where our finances go into, right? So that's any direct deposits, any checks that we receive, it goes into this one account. Then I have an account where our bills come out of. That's 2 separate buckets, 2 separate accounts, right? So for that account that the bills come out of, nothing else comes out of there, right? I don't use that for vacation. I don't use that to go to the grocery store. I don't use that. I use that for my fixed expenses. And then I have another account where the fluid expenses come out of. So I have that account for things that may fluctuate every now and again, right? So I may buy, for example, it's December, so we know that the children are going to be out of school for, a couple weeks or out of this month, so the grocery bill is going to go up. So I know that this particular account I'm going to use, and it's going to fluctuate a little bit. So because I'm using it and it's fluctuating, I'm going to make sure that there's money in that account, but it may not be the same amount every single month.
You're listening to the Fiscal Finesse Flash with your host, Jenna Finesse Houston.
That's that account. So create a system, whatever your system is. But I use the bucket system, and I know it to be tremendously successful. So there's certain accounts that I save in. There's certain accounts that I could dip into. There's certain accounts that I won't dip into. So make sure that you have some type of system that works for you. Okay? And also, so that's number 1, create a system. Create a system that works for you. My system may not work for you. You may already have one that's working. If you have one, awesome. Just use your system. Number 2, establish a relationship with your money and your honey, right? All of us have a honey. All of us got some money coming in. So establish that a relationship. Don't be living in that financial infidelity where you're doing things outside of your honey. You're making money. You're using money. You're spending money. You have money coming in that they don't even know about. Have that relationship, that open relationship with your honey and your money. Hopefully you have one honey. Because if you have more than one honey, it might get a little funny. But if you have one honey, establish that relationship with the one honey and your money so that you both are on the same page. Because when you are on the same page, there is no limit to what you can do, right? So that's number 2. Establish a relationship with your money and your honey. Number 3, prepare a budget. Oh my goodness. A budget is not restrictive. It's not like a diet. It's not like something that, you do every now and again, or you do it when you get too fat or when your money get too low, you get on the budget. A budget is something that you should do every single month. And it's something that it's really simply a plan. I've told y'all this before, time and time again. A budget is a plan to tell your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. And so when you have a plan for your money, it just makes it that much better, okay? So that's number 3, prepare a budget. So let's go back through that again. Number 1, create a system, whatever system that works for you to pay your bills and make sure that you're saving money. Number 2, establish a relationship with your money and your honey. Hopefully it's just one honey, so you don't have that many issues. Because when you got more than one honey, you like, oh, God. No. Number 3, prepare a budget, right? And then the 4th and final thing is to get a coach. Get an accountability partner. Get somebody who knows just a little bit more than you, and that's going to actually call and check up on you every now and again and say, hey, how's it going? You need any help? You need any assistance? Guess what I read today? Oh, my goodness, I found out that blah, 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 blah. Find you somebody. Get somebody on your team that's going to do that for you, because if you have nobody like that, it's going to be really hard to reach your goals. Oftentimes, we as a people, I tell you what we do. We hide when it comes to finances. We don't want nobody knowing our business. We feel like once we get exposed, it's just too much. Y'all all up in my business. Y'all doing this, this, and that. But when you let folks in your business, that's how you become accountable. That's how you become prosperous, really, because then it's like, if I know that you're working on your finances and I'm also working on my finances, as I learn things, I'm willing to give that thing to you. I'm willing to share with you. I'm willing to grow with you. But if I don't know what's going on with you, or I don't care, or you don't care to share those things, it becomes that much harder. And anything that you keep in the box is going to stay right there in that box. But if you allow it out, it can grow, right? So we need to nurture and grow those relationships and make sure that we're meeting and connecting with the right folks so that we can grow our finances. Ooh. I don't want y'all seeing all that now. Hold on now. So anyway, so let me go back through that one more time. So number 1, you create a system, something that works for you. I'm not talking about what works for me, but something that works for you. Number 2, you establish a relationship with your honey and your money, right? Make sure that you are all on the same page. Number 3, you prepare a budget, right? And then finally, you get a coach or an accountability partner, somebody that's going to hold you accountable and make sure that you're reaching the goals that you've set for yourself. So I thank y'all for listening. I am going to go out here and see who's actually listening, because for some reason I can't see too much today. I can't see what's going on my screen, so I'm going to type it up on my computer here, on my handy dandy computer, and see who's listening and answer any questions that you might have. So this is the time to ask your questions. If you have questions, if you want to ask anything at this time, we have a couple more minutes before I log off. So let me know. What are your questions? Let me see here. Let me see. We have Nicole Simpson. Hey, girl. Rhonda, Charla, accountability. I love it. So do y'all have any questions? I see your comments, but I don't.
You're listening to the Fiscal Finesse Flash with your host, Jenna Finesse Houston.
See any questions in here right now? So let me just see what I see. Let me see. Let me see what I see. Let me see. Let me see what I see. Let me see. I see all of you folks logged on, and I thank you for supporting the Fiscal Finesse Flash. But what I don't see is any questions. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to log off because I'm about to go home. I've been up since early this morning. I've been running. I had a couple meetings downtown. I met with a couple clients today, and now I'm here, and it's almost 7 o'clock. I got 3 more minutes, and I'm out. So, oh, wait. Okay, somebody do have a question. All right, here we go. What if your honey has major issues managing money? Oh, my goodness. That's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So if your honey has major issues with hiding money, managing money, making money, right, doing any of those things, that is why it's important to have those conversations. You have to sit down and you have to be realistic and dogmatic about what things are bothering you. You have to be dogmatic about what your goals are. Maybe you can get your honey to say, listen, here's some of my goals for 2017. How do you think we should get there? And if you don't have a clue and they don't have a clue, even more reason for you to invite someone else in. But if they have issues managing money, because we all have had, and a lot of us still have issues managing money. You just have to get educated. It's all about the re-education. So if you present things to them and they're still in that mind frame where, they want to stay in a rut or stay in that position, then, that's when it may become a problem. But I think for the most part, people are reasonable and they understand that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. So if they're insane, then you might want to get some counseling, and I'm not really designed to do that. No, but if they're not insane and they're reasonable and they have some goals, and maybe you can lead from behind. A lot of times as women, we have to lead from behind. We have to make them feel like it's their, is their idea or whatnot. But you have to lead from behind and let them know, listen, because you want to do these things, in order for us to be able to do these things, and I'm sure everybody has some goals, and every goal is attached to financial capacity. So I hope I answered your question. If not, ask another, and I'll try to be more clear. One more question out here. It says, how much do you recommend to put in each account? That's a great question. So I was talking earlier about accounts and separating your money. So you may have an account where everything comes in, and you may have an account where your fixed expenses go out of. You may have an account where your fluid expenses go out of. So, for example, if your budget, and that's why it's so important to have a budget, but if your budget says that your fixed expenses are $1,300 a month, no, let's just use a round number. Your fixed expenses are $500 a month, right? So you want to make sure that in that account, you at least have $600 every single month. That way, as things are coming out, as your direct deposits are coming out, you'll never have an instance where, you're overdraft or anything else. But then in your fluid expenses, where, you buy things that the balance of that item changes every month, you just want to make sure that you have money in there. And that's, again, why it's so important to have a budget. When you have a budget, you'll know exactly how much you need in each of those accounts, because your budget will tell you, okay, here's our housing expenses, and we're going to take money out of that account for those things. Here's our travel expenses. And travel doesn't mean just going to Dominican Republic. I mean travel as in gas money, car note, insurance and things like that. So you can use whatever budget you need to use, and having a budget will help you to identify how much money should be in each of those accounts. So thank you for that question. Any other questions? Let me see here. I don't see any other questions. So if there are no more questions, you all have a super awesome, fantastic, snowy winter wonderland night, because I sure am. And I am here to answer all your questions anytime. Again, I just want to say, create a system, right? Establish a relationship with your honey and your money. Prepare a budget and get a coach, accountability partner. And I can be that for you if you need to. My telephone number is 614-595-0784. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Fiscal Finesse Flash. We hope this message finessed your finances and your life. We believe leaders are readers, and podcast listeners become great practitioners. If you need assistance implementing a strategy for finessing your finances, call us today at 318-595-0784. Until next time, finesse your life and don't live in fiscal strife.